It's double whammy for Pakistan after being slammed at the United Nations by India, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. And now China has also come out to slam Pakistan. China reiterating its stand when it comes to the Kashmir issue. Beijing saying that Kashmir issue was for India and Pakistan to resolve. China also declining to back its all-weather ally, Pakistan, which has been desperately raising the Kashmir bogey at the international forum. Hamza Amir joins us for more on this. Hamza, isn't it embarrassing now for Pakistan to not be just globally shamed by India, but the other nations as well, whether it is Afghanistan, whether it is Bangladesh, and now China? What does this really mean for Pakistan, who now stand globally isolated?
Well, Avantika, see, the embarrassment is only felt when it is actually realized. Pakistan has not realized the fact that its own house is not in order. And when I say this, I mean that, on one side, the Pakistani premier comes in, tells Afghanistan to mind their own business, not push their war on Pakistan. Pakistan is not going to fight Afghanistan's war. They talk on Kashmir, they talk on the line of control. But what reaction comes in? India reminds Pakistan of Hafiz Saeed, of Lashkar-e-Taiba's presence, of militant groups operating from Pakistan. Bangladesh comes in, reminds Pakistan of 1971 genocide. Then Afghanistan comes in and even names high-profile militants who were actually based inside of Pakistan, killed not by army's operation, killed by drone strikes, international airstrikes that were done inside Pakistani territory. They've also named shuras of militants which are present in Pakistan. So it is actually raising a lot of concerns and criticism back on Pakistan on what Pakistan is trying to do on the UN platform, and on the other side, why these all allegations are joining in now, because now initially it was China on BRICS. Now when China came back onto its track with Pakistan because of CPAC, what has happened is that US, India, now Bangladesh and Afghanistan, all of them are raising the same concerns on one country, that is Pakistan. That cannot be ignored. And Pakistan, while it wants to stay away from US because of China and because of the CPAC route, it cannot afford to actually, have this patch of black mark on itself that is going to also tilt its liability.
But Hamza, from the earlier point that you were making, and I want to understand this, despite worldwide condemnation, despite the United States stating that Pakistan, in fact, is a country that has been providing safe terror havens to terrorists on its soil, the BRICS joint declaration, Pakistan remains unscathed and even unfazed. Why is that?
Well, see, Pakistan is now forming a new alliance. It's found a new good friend of economic, progress in China. And that is why they want to stay away from America. If you see, when the US's policy, Trump's policy on Afghanistan and South Asia came out, Pakistan denied arrival of US envoy who wanted to come to Islamabad and meet the Pakistani high officials. Pakistan protested very, very strongly against it. And Pakistan denied all allegations on Pakistan because they have China now, and they have that route of CPAC going into from Gawadar, Balochistan, entering into at the tail goes into Gilgit-Baltistan.
Right.
So I think that is why Pakistan is not really bothered when it comes to allegations coming from either side, because they have China in control. But yes, they cannot afford to have this ongoing allegation coming onto them. The house needs to be brought in order, which Pakistan does realize, and that is why an ongoing operations of military offensive are going on in Pakistan.
Retired Brigadier Mahalingam also joins us for more on this, defense expert. Sir, there's been global condemnation, and from Pakistan's neighbors and its all-weather allied Chinese, Afghanistan, Bangladesh coming out and slamming Pakistan when it comes to the issue of Kashmir. And it's so shocking that Pakistan still continues to play the victim card, and that's been their standard line of defense. Why is it that Pakistan still remains unfazed?
Absolutely. The Chinese, as I've always been saying, they as well as the Russians have never been amused by Pakistan's ranting that what they have been doing and what they have been doing in as far as India and Afghanistan. The Chinese are quite concerned about their own state in Xinjiang. as also the Russians with the Central Asian republics. So having said that, it is a very good sign that China has come out and openly said that this particular issue is to be resolved between India and Pakistan. This also eliminates the United Nations, about which even Abbasi just today morning talked about the UN coming to the sort of resolving the issue and the issue of plebiscite.
No, and also who's Pakistan to talk about whatever is happening in our country, raising issues of alleged atrocities in Kashmir, when Baloch activists, sir, Baloch activists are staging protests at UN headquarters in New York. Brigadier Mahalingam?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying that what gives Pakistan the authority or its Prime Minister to speak about the so-called alleged atrocities in Kashmir when we saw visuals of Baloch activists staging protests against Pakistan at the UN headquarters in New York?
See, Pakistan has got no local standi or for that matter any sort of issue with regard to what India does. India knows what human rights violations are. It must look at their own record of what they are doing in Sindh province, as also in Balochistan, at the mass graves in Gujarat district. I mean, this is what Pakistan has all been doing, and it has atrocity now to come to the United Nations and speak of human rights violations by India. What did they do in Fata? They used helicopters, helicopter gunships, aircraft, as also artillery there. It is their own territory. The people are their own. And despite this, they did this and absolutely shameless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just stay on with me, sir. Anand Krishnan also joining us for more on this. Anand, we've seen how India has described Pakistan as terroristan, calling it a mothership of terrorism on the global forum. But China, which has always strongly defended its all-weather ally, for the first time saying that, well, we're not going to interfere when it comes to Kashmir. It's for India and Pakistan to resolve the matter.
Well, that's right, Vandika. It's interesting that China is drawing a line and said pretty clearly, it was actually asked by Pakistani journalists if they would support what Pakistan has been saying at the UN General Assembly and what the OIC has been saying, which of course India reacted very strongly to. But the Chinese are saying very clearly that their change in their stand at all, as they see it, it's something for India and Pakistan to resolve. And what they left unsaid was, as far as they see, they don't want this issue to be complicated or internationalized. Also, given the fact that they're going ahead with all these investments, it's a very interesting statement by China. Despite all the closeness we see between all the other allies, they seem to be drawing a line when it comes to Kashmir and the UN.
Absolutely. Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan is also with us. Geeta, you were at the BRICS summit as well. All of the nations coming together, condemning terror in that strongly worded declaration. And look at China's position, as Anant was rightly saying, drawing the line when it comes to Kashmir.
Well, that's right. For some time now, Avantika, China has taken this position. When it comes to other areas, particularly to do with Masood Azhar and the sensitive issues of terrorism, China continues to support Pakistan. But when it comes to the issue of Kashmir, China has drawn the line, has taken a position, and one of the last countries, so to say, Avantika, that has taken a position in Pakistan. For Pakistan, it should be a wake-up call that no country is going to now intervene in a matter that's absolutely bilateral in nature. China coming out and saying that it's a bilateral issue and should be resolved bilaterally.
Absolutely. Just stay on with me, Hamza and Geeta. In fact, let's just play out all of those reactions from Bangladesh, from Afghanistan, from the Pakistan Prime Minister, and India's strong rebuttal to what the Prime Minister of Pakistan had to say.
As in the past, today the Kashmiri people are waging a heroic and populist struggle to rid themselves of India's oppressive rule. They come out in the streets daily to call on India to leave Jammu and Kashmir. India has responded with massive and indiscriminate force to suppress the Kashmiris. We ask that the United Nations Secretary General and the High Commissioner for Human Rights send an inquiry commission to occupied Kashmir to verify the nature and extent of India's human rights violations, secure the punishment of those responsible, and provide justice and relief to the victims.
Having diverted billions of dollars in international military and development aid towards creating a dangerous infrastructure of terror on its own territory, Pakistan is now speaking of the high cost of its terror industry. The polluter in this case is paying the price. Mr. President, even as terrorists thrive in Pakistan and roam its streets with impunity, we have heard it lecture about the protection of human rights in India. The world does not need lessons on democracy and human rights from a country whose situation is charitably described as a failed state.
We took the war to the terrorists. We have paid a heavy price. We have fought the war against terror with our own resources. The international community has failed to address the issue of state-sponsored terrorism.
It is extraordinary that the state which protected Osama bin Laden and sheltered Mullah Omar should have the gumption to play the victim. Pakistan has become a geography synonymous with terror. The quest for a land of pure has actually produced the land of pure terror. Pakistan is now Terroristan.
No one desires peace in Afghanistan more than Pakistan. From 16 years of the ongoing war in Afghanistan, it is clear that peace will not be restored by the continuing resort to military force. What Pakistan is not prepared to do is to fight the Afghan war on Pakistan soil.
From the West country have almost every single terrorist element and group, and about or more than 20 internationally recognized terrorist groups enter into Afghanistan, and they continue to do so. It's from Pakistan. They have been claimed and verified by various credible international sources.
In the 1971 War of Liberation, we endured an extreme form of genocide. In the 9-month-long War of Liberation against Pakistan, 3 million innocent people were killed and more than 200,000 women were violated. The Pakistan military launched the heinous Operation Searchlight on the 25th of March, which was the beginning of the 1971 genocide. The 1971 genocide included targeted elimination of individuals on the grounds of religion, race, and political belief. The intellectuals were killed brutally.
In some other news, Pakistan's former president Pervez Musharraf has made some serious allegations against Pakistan's former president Asif Ali Zardari. In a video message, Musharraf has hit out at Asif Ali Zardari, saying that he is the one responsible for his wife Benazir Bhutto's death, because he claims that he was the one who stood to gain the most from Benazir Bhutto's death. Musharraf said that even though Zardari was in power for 5 years, no proper investigation took place because he was involved, allegedly, in his own wife's murder.
मैं समझता हूं कि तमाम भुट्टो फैमिली का तबाही का बाइस और भुट्टो फैमिली में मुर्तजा भुट्टो और बेनजीर भुट्टो के मर्डर का रिस्पॉन्सिबल जिम्मेदार एक आदमी है, आसिफ जरदारी। दोनों को इसे मर्डर करवाया है। मुर्तजा भुट्टो को जो इसने मर्डर किया, उसकी तो तशरीह, ये 5 साल जो गुजारे इसने प्रेसिडेंसी में, कुछ नहीं किया उसके बारे में, क्योंकि खुद जो मुलव्विस है, खुद ने करवाया है, तो क्यों इन्वेस्टिगेट करें उसे। सबसे पहले जब कोई मर्डर होता है तो उसमें देखा चाहिए देखना चाहिए कि फायदा या नुकसान किसका हुआ। मेरा तो नुकसान ही नुकसान हुआ बेनजीर के मर्डर से। फायदा एक ही आदमी को हुआ, और वही जो मर्डरर है आसिफ जरदारी, उसको फायदा हुआ तमाम। तो लिहाजा अब आगे चलते हैं इसी सिलसिले में। ये तो हकीकत है कि बेनजीर को बैतुल्ला मसूद और उसके लोगों ने मारा, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, सारा एविडेंस मौजूद है। लेकिन देखने की चीज ये है कि इस मर्डर के, ये बैतुल्ला मसूद के पीछे कौन था, क्या कोई ऐसा शख्स था जो साजिश करके बैतुल मसूद को उसने यूज किया और मर्डर करवाया? मैं समझता हूं कि तमाम भुट्टो फैमिली का तबाही का बाइस और भुट्टो फैमिली में मुर्तजा भुट्टो और बेनजीर भुट्टो के मर्डर का रिस्पॉन्सिबल जिम्मेदार एक आदमी है, आसिफ जरदारी। दोनों को इसे मर्डर करवाया है। मुर्तजा भुट्टो को जो इसने मर्डर किया, उसकी तो तशरीह ये 5 साल जो गुजारे इसने प्रेसिडेंसी में, कुछ नहीं किया उसके बारे में, क्योंकि खुद जो है मुलव्वस है, खुद ने करवाया है, तो क्यों इन्वेस्टिगेट करें उसे?
Let's go straight across now to Hamza for more on this. Hamza, so a very shocking claim by the former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf, but any acquisition or allegation needs to be backed with evidence. He does mention that there is a lot of evidence that still needs to be probed. Then why is it that that hasn't been done?
Well, see, what happened was recently the decision of Benazir Bhutto's murder case came after at least 10 years, I guess. And in that decision, only 2 security officers and in charge were actually, sentenced to life imprisonment. Now, the People's Party basically rejected that decision, and they said it's Musharraf who is the main culprit and the main murderer behind Benazir Bhutto's murder, only for the fact that it was his government and he was the one who was responsible to provide her ample security, which was not there. That is why Benazir Bhutto was murdered. Now, that is something that was actually, naming Musharraf directly. Now, Musharraf being an absconder already, as per law in Pakistan, he has his arrest warrants already out, and he did not come back to Pakistan. He stays back and forth to London.
Okay, Hamza, I'll just have to interrupt you there. We're just having an issue with your audio, but nonetheless, thanks so much for joining us. We'll get in more reactions on this big story right now. Moving on to some other breaking news just coming in.